Alright, today I'm gonna go ahead and try to get this front bumper mounted onto the Datsun. I'm gonna trim it down so I've just got the bar. I gotta get the horns off of it, and then I'm gonna take the rubber trim off of it as well. I'm gonna take these brackets off so I can clean them up and repaint them. That'll also give me a chance, once I have it stripped down, to be able to take the angle grinder with the steel brush on it and get a lot of that rust out of the channel. But the more I look at it, and the more I like how the primer job on the buckets came out. They came out really good. And of course, if you watched my previous episodes, you'd see that we stripped that down with aircraft stripper. I've been thinking about doing it to the hood as well. Just, I don't know, just to give it a cleaner look. I'm not too fond of the way it looks right now. It looks really ganky, and it'll give it that extra rat rodish look, I think, until he has it painted. And it's just a little simple aesthetics like that go a long way. That's what I got going on. I need to get me some more turn signals for it. I need to get another a more coolish style side view mirror just to clean it up. This thing right here is just this original, this totally 80s looking. I don't like it at all. It don't even work right. It's all flimsy. Finished buttoning up the alternator, and I had to order another temp sensor for the gauge inside the vehicle. I just painted over that one a while back, and it doesn't cost much for another one. But I still got little things to do, like vacuum lines for the fuel pressure regulator, the blow-off valve, the brake booster, and I have the check valve that goes in the line for the brake booster. There you go, guys. There's the bumper stripped down and the brackets, and that's all that I'm gonna keep out of this to mount here to give it that clean look. These are eventually gonna be welded in, all the holes, and then the whole thing's gonna be powder coated. You know what, I might just paint this thing black just because. I might just strip it, get it with the wire brush, get it all nice and scratched on the chrome surface and cleaned out in the channel on the back, and I'll probably just shoot it with the brackets just because I want to. And later on, whenever I do paint the back right here, I'm gonna do the same right here. I'll paint all those at once. Fun with it. A car like this you don't want to drive every day. A car like that's a fun car. That's a car that, you know, you go in the garage and just stare at it and say, oh, that's my car. Let's go ahead and get this thing started now. I'm gonna take the wire brush right here to it. That's what I got. Got this at Harbor Freight. It's a Chicago Electric. It's a 4-inch angle grinder slash cutter slash wire brush sander. Take the rust off. It depends on whatever disc you put on it is what its purpose. But this I find works really good, taking off rust and everything and just grinding it down. And I like this a lot. I've had this tool for 2 years now, actually, and I bought it for 20 bucks at Harbor Freight, guys. So if y'all are looking at an angle grinder, 20 bucks, Harbor Freight, go buy you one. Can't beat it. A lot of my tools that I have are Matco and Snap-on, but that's when I was doing it as a profession. So you always want, you know, good professional tools when you're doing it as a profession. And the truck would come here every Friday, so that was valuable for me because I didn't have to leave to replace my tools, or if I needed a tool, I'd call him up and he'd come and deliver. So I do have a lot of Matco stuff. I also got this really nice Matco 1/4-inch impact. This little thing right here will go up to 65 foot-pounds when the battery's fully charged. And right now my battery is at 1, so it's not as strong as it should be. Had it been fully charged and I was trying to rip those bolts off, just rip them right off. Okay, let's go ahead and start this. I found that using the upper bumper bar and just putting the tabs behind the upper arch and resting it on the horns actually acts like a jig holding it up, which is perfect for me, so I can get all that taken care of. But I'm gonna start right here and get these cleaned up first. That's sketchy, really sketchy. Probably just gonna go ahead and get it with some good old sandpaper. I think that'll be my best bet. That's kind of sketchy. That thing don't go too deep, and I hate to have it bite in and jump back at me, mess me up, mess my whole day up. So I picked this up, rust remover. I'm gonna try it on that, see how well it works out. I got this at Harbor Freight when I was over there getting some little odds and ends. Thought I'd give it a try. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, it stinks. That stuff smells bad, guys. Alright, it's been a minute, but I got this nice and painted up. Looks good, like they should. And on the bumper, it took me a little bit, but I was using some 80 grit and that rust remover. It helps out. It doesn't like attack it, you know, but if you can see that, I sanded it down as best I could and I coated it. It's still got plenty of surface rust, but I'm just gonna end up spraying it with the Rust-Oleum. It'll neutralize the rust from getting any further, and then whenever the time comes that he's gonna get it powder coated, you know, it'll be sandblasted clean and everything, and then it's not gonna be an issue. So I'm just gonna prevent the rust. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some self-etching primer on it. Got some self-etching primer. I'm gonna primer that, let it dry, then I'll spray the Rust-Oleum over it, and it should adhere to the chrome pretty well. Doing the wire brush on the chrome, as you can tell, I scuffed it in pretty well, so the primer's gonna have something to grab to. I've never really sprayed on chrome before. It's just experimental. I'm gonna see how it goes, so we'll see how it goes. Got her all primered up. She's looking pretty good. And I went ahead and I sprayed on the inside as well. The etching primer etches into the metal, so that's a good thing. That'll help neutralize it. But looks good. I'm gonna let this cure for a little bit, and then I'll spray the semi-flat Rust-Oleum paint on it. I think it's a success. I think it came out pretty good, guys. If you're looking at it right here, I mean, it's getting dark outside. You can't really see very well, but looks pretty good. I think that I think it came up pretty good. Took like half a can of spraying on it, you know, letting it dry in between and spraying back on it again, and I call it a success. I'm just gonna let it cure, and I'll just let it cure overnight, and then tomorrow I'll come in and I'll mount it up and see how good it looks. Alright, I got her all tightened up. She hugs in there nice and clean. She sits right in the valley, right where she needs to sit. Big difference than the big old freaking horns and stuff that it had on before. She looks really nice. I'm really happy with it, and it came out really good. So those of you that are wanting to dress up your stock bumpers, take the wire brush on the angle grinder and scuff it in real good. That'll scuff in the chrome pretty well, and then use some etch primer to adhere to the metal, the bare metal, and then paint over it. That's the ticket. Now I'm gonna move on to the back. I gotta get the back bumper off there, and I'm gonna get the plate off, trim those down, take all the stuff off the bumper, and then prep the rear panel, and I'm all gonna paint that semi-flat black. Wanted to go over something real quick too. To put the bumper over, to put it back on and get it right, what I had to do basically is start with the brackets here and here, and you leave them loose. Then you put the bumper itself on, and then you put these two nuts on loose on both sides. And then from there you got to go to the inside, and there's a 10mm bolt that sits back here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It sits right there in the corner. And you put it all together loose. You get your gapping right in the valleys where it's supposed to sit on the buckets. Then you tighten it all down for one single go, and everything will line up the way it should be. As you can see, it looks very nice. Very pleased with the results. So pleased with the results that I decided, yes, I'm gonna go through with the rear end of the car. I went ahead and took it upon myself and took it all off just now. I didn't know how much of a fight it was with all the rust and stuff. It wasn't that bad, just a couple of areas that was kind of hard for me to undo, but I got it off. The good thing is the rust on the back end of this looks like it's accessible. Like I can get to it with my angle grinder and get all that off. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get that going on that, and then I'm gonna etch primer and paint it. That's what it looks like with it off. I'm gonna have to go through and retap these so that they're nice clean threads. I'm gonna need to get new fasteners. Those are all rusted, but it's good. I only got a limited amount of time this afternoon. I've been working all weekend trying to get extra money for my shop that's going to be built, and I got me some new glasses. You get my age, you know, your vision starts going to crap, but nonetheless, I still need to get this off right there, and I'm gonna paint that as well. And in the stack of boxes that my 300Z hood's on top of, I have a nice 3-inch catback exhaust for this car that I'm gonna install too, because I gotta mock up a downpipe and cut it and tack weld it so I could take it to a better welder than me to weld it up nice and neat with the V-band on it. The whole exhaust is gonna be V-band, but other than that, some progress is better than no progress. I'm just trying as much as I can to hammer this thing out and get it done without rushing it too much. Don't want to rush certain things on the car, but I'm so eager to get that started the RB25 to put it in my 300ZX. Brackets are nice and painted up. They're good to go. Just need to let them dry. Looks good. I got this all cleaned up. I got most of the rust out. It's pretty much to a nice surface. That's just like dug in. But with the etch, self-etching primer will seal that up nice and neat and prevent any future rust from happening. These tabs right here, they're a little bent like that, so I'm gonna bend these back and then I'm gonna hang it up and do like I did with the first one.
Just as long as you
my buddy, he's got his bodywork primered for his little 250 Ninja. He's gonna be selling that thing once it's done. It's gonna have a fresh paint job with fresh bodywork on it. He had wrecked it. It was just scuffing the fairings, and it broke the fairings a little bit. So we decided he's going to put fresh body work on it. He's not too experienced with painting. I have a little bit more experience with painting than he does. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint these for a future episode coming up. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint these. So I'll show you guys what's up on that. Yeah, so today I got the brackets painted up. They're finished. And to show you all the finish outcome of the rear bumper. There you go. Nice and pretty. Pretty well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mount them up on the rear here. There, and then you got slots right here on for the side bars. The side tabs on the bumper were a little bit bent. I did bend them back up. I don't even know if it's right, but I got quite a bit of wiggle room with those, which is a good thing. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and chase the threads out on the bumper. Since I've primered and painted them, it's always good to chase the threads because that buildup, it's gonna be a pain in the butt whenever you try to put the nuts back on. And I'm just gonna re-tap the holes, make sure the threads are all nice and clean. They're not that bad, but car, I don't think that bumper's ever been off on that car. just got here. Joseph, come here. What you gonna do, Joseph? What you gonna do, Joseph?
Gonna start stripping the hood a little bit.
He's gonna strip that hood a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. What we gonna do with the hood, Joseph?
Get it all nice and very loud.
And then what we gonna do, Joseph?
Paint it.
What we gonna do to it first? Edge primer?
Yeah.
Why we put edge primer?
It's because you can.
Spread it even, man. Don't like use it the whole can. You know what I mean? Just yet. It's gonna have to come off in layers. Looks pretty good. That looks a lot better. I like the way it looks. Come out pretty good. Other than the little blemishes you can see, but a lot of the blemishes are around the center part where the license plate's going to be. So not a big deal. It's a lot better than what it was. Cool. So I just got a phone call from the babysitter, and they gotta leave, and I have to do daddy duties. So I gotta take care of my kids. So I'm gonna have to call it the day, and tomorrow I'll come in and get to getting this sanded down and primered, and then I gotta work on the mounts for the hood in the front. And then after it dries and cures enough, I'll put the hood on and show you guys how that looks. Still need to swap out the other hatch to the original hatch and get the window mounted on that. So probably gonna wait until I get the window mounted to put the back hatch back on. But at least this chapter of it's done, and I'll be able to get going on the electrical and get things going with the Mega Squirt system. Still odds and ends I can do on it till then. I'm gonna probably take out the exhaust here in that box and get the exhaust mounted up and start seeing how I'm gonna make the downpipe work. I gotta get the downpipe angles cut and tack welded, and once I have that tack welded in place, I'll be able to take it to a professional that can throw me a nice bead around it so it looks really nice. My welder is just gonna spit and spatter because it's a flux wire, and that's not cool. Since I'm putting all the extra effort in, you just don't want to have a nice car with a cheesy downpipe, stupid welds on it. So that's what it looks like so far. Alright, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more footage. See you guys on the next episode.